In the hollowed halls of wealth and prosperity, Dave Ramsey unveils the hidden truth behind billionaire success.
So your actions cause your ability to win in different areas of your life. This is all about making different decisions. And here's the deal. If you figure out what poor people are doing and you do that with money, you're going to be poor people.
Pulling back the curtain on the enigmatic world of the ultra-rich. With relentless determination and an unyielding conviction, Ramsey delves deep into the lives of billionaires, exposing the secrets that have propelled them to extraordinary heights of achievement and abundance.
I'll guarantee you this, 95% of you listening to me right now do not do a unique written budget every month unique to that month. Almost no one does. Those that do, however, find all kinds of money that's being lost because your checking account is a freaking sieve.
Through the lens of financial mastery, Ramsey unveils a captivating narrative of discipline, resilience, and unwavering commitment, revealing that behind every billionaire lies a tale of unwavering focus and a relentless pursuit of excellence.
You have no idea where your money goes, and you make more than your parents made. You make more than a lot of your friends make, and you make more than any other country in the world, virtually, personal income. And you're freaking broke. And so let's just establish here that you can find $100 latte breath.
Ramsey's revelations shatter the illusions of overnight success, exposing the arduous journeys, the countless failures, and unparalleled sacrifices that billionaires have undertaken to amass their fortunes.
And it's always humorous to me to see people who are broke on Twitter ragging on the advice that I give. Or a broke 26-year-old journalism student deeply in student loan debt writing an article about me. That's humorous because it's stupid.
With a resounding voice of truth, Ramsey challenges society's preconceived notions of wealth, debunking the myth of luck or inheritance, and revealing the undeniable role of hard work, calculated risk-taking, and unwavering determination.
We all need a good financial planning, clear path. A clear path to go from wherever I am to wealthy. That's financial planning. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's okay. You probably shouldn't listen to this show. It's what we're doing all the time here. We're trying to take you from wherever you are to wealthy.
In a world seduced by quick fixes and get-rich-quick schemes, Ramsey's message pierces through that noise, reminding us that true success requires unwavering dedication, long-term vision, and an unrelenting commitment to personal growth.
So you write a check and you pay off the debt. That's thing one. Thing two is you need to sit down with a good tax pro and calculate what the taxes are going to be on this, and then just set that aside and pretend like it's not yours, because it's not yours. Mm-hmm. You're going to get in a pinch if you start screwing around with a portion of this that is taxes. So just set aside an account over there and be ready for next April when it rolls around. And hold on the money as long as you can hold on to it, but just put it in a money market account and pretend like you don't own it anymore. And that's going to be a substantial amount of money. But there's plenty of people run very successful businesses with less education than you've currently got.
Right.
You also, but the other part of this is you want to commit, if you're in anything, but particularly in business, and it's true in medicine and law, other things, you want to commit to being a lifelong learner, a reader. You need to read business books, leadership books, and books on entrepreneurship, and you need to constantly be reading and growing. And college doesn't when you get out of school, if you stop learning then, in just a few years you're irrelevant. So you have to keep reading and growing and learning all the time. You have to keep adding to your knowledge base as you go. If you keep doing that, you'll be fine. And then if you wanted to go back and, finish up your bachelor's, you're probably not that far out from finishing it. That's a fine thing to do. And, some of the class work that you do to get that would be valuable to you in running the business. I have a 4-year degree is all I have. I'm not got a master's, and but I'm a lifelong learner in addition to that. And so I've probably got several PhDs in terms of the amount of information I have ingested in the 35, 40 years I've been doing business. And so That's what you're looking at. You're trying to learn, trying to grow, and trying to add to it. But my basic 4-year degree was very helpful. For that matter, still very helpful. A lot of those basic things, basic accounting understanding and GAAP principles and, finance principles are things I use on the air here every day. My job is to not make them sound like gobbledygook. Instead, put the cookies on a shelf where everybody can reach them. But I'm using the concepts and the critical thinking skills that we were taught in our academic education. So, education's valuable. Is it mandatory where you slap your fist on the table and say, you're not going to be successful unless you go back right now? We know you need to be out of debt and have an emergency fund. That's foundational. Any of us in the financial planning arena know that. It's foundational. And we know you need to be investing to be able to build wealth. That's foundational. And we know your mortgage is big, so paying that off, it's foundational. So just the question was how to put those in an order that was practical and applicable that actually worked. And that's where the baby steps were born. And the reason that they've been so successful, why the book, The Total Money Makeover, which is basically the baby steps on steroids, why it's been so successful is because it's a clear path and it's based on basic financial planning logic. And it works. And so even my friends in the financial planning community that don't like me grudgingly admit that the baby steps is freaking genius. And because it is. Not because I'm genius, but because it's a clear path, and we all need a clear path to do whatever it is we're going to succeed at. What are the things I need to do to get to winning if I'm not winning? What's the steps? What's the clear path? We all need that. This is all about making different decisions. And here's the deal. If you figure out what poor people are doing and you do that with money, you're going to be poor people. If you figure out what rich people are doing with money and you do that with money, you're going to eventually be rich people. If you're rich and you do poor people stuff with money, you'll become poor. If you're poor and you do rich people stuff with money long enough, you will become wealthy. Regardless of where you start, your actions will take you to a destination. Some faster, some slower, but they will take you to a destination. So figure out what rich people are doing. Figure out what skinny people are doing. If you want to be skinny, do skinny people stuff. If you want to be rich, do rich people stuff. Figure out what are the actions. I mean, think about it. What do poor people do? Now, I know poor people sometimes get stepped on by other people. I know they get kicked. When I was broke, I got people stepping all over me. I still got boot prints on my back from the way some stupid bankers treated me. Here's the advice that we give you. If you do these 5 things from the Bible and from your grandmother, they're called common sense, you will win with money 100% of the time. Now, I don't know exactly how long it will take you, and I don't know what win with money will mean because I cannot predict your income, and I cannot predict the tragedy that you will have to overcome. But subject to your income to tragedy ratio, to the extent you do these 5 things, you will win with money. You will become wealthy in North America if you will do these 5 things over and over again. Number 1, you need to have a written plan, a budget. Jesus said, don't build a tower without first counting the cost, lest you get halfway up and you're unable to finish, and all who see you begin to mock you and say, this man began to build. No one began to build and was unable to finish. No one accidentally wins at anything. And you're not the exception. I don't like Dave Ramsey's advice. I don't give a crap. You're wrong. You have to do a written game plan with money or you're going to lose. So if you're listening to this show and you are under 40 years old and you don't retire with $1 million, that's no one's fault but yours. It's your fault in this country if you retire broke. It's your fault because you made a freaking fortune in your working lifetime. You work your butt off your whole life and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing. As a matter of fact, we've been interviewing millionaires here on the air and been doing some millionaire theme hours, asking them how they became millionaires. And virtually every one of them did not inherit wealth. Virtually every one of them became millionaires by living on less than they make, saving and investing. Very few of them ever made over $200,000 in their lifetime, household income in a year. The vast majority of them were the tortoise, not the hare. 88% of American millionaires are first-generation rich. That means about 9 out of 10 people that are millionaires started with nothing and became a millionaire. I am amazed that when, for instance, today I tweeted that statistic, 88% of American millionaires are first-generation rich, that there is always a group of people that want to argue about that don't believe that, and that well, they had a head start, well, they had white privilege, well, they had this, well, they had that, well, their mama knew somebody, or whatever. There's always some kind of thing. And I used to really get shocked by the huge pushback against believing that you can win in America today. And, what I came to understand was two things. One is that some people have their heads stuck so far up their politics that they can't think anymore. They don't know how to do critical thought. And they actually just believe the party line, so to speak, whether it's far right or far left. In this case, it would be the socialist bunch. They believe that opportunity is gone from America today and that some politician is the only way they're going to get opportunity again. And so that's one of the reasons they want to push back against that, because they don't want to believe that it's up to them. The second reason is that I just am starting to realize this, and it makes me sad, really. It's kind of pitiful that a lot of the people that want to argue that opportunity is gone in America, the core reason that they want to argue that it can't be done today is because if they admit that it can be done today, then they also simultaneously would have to admit that they haven't done it. I would have, if I admit that you can go become a millionaire today and I'm not one, or I'm not on a track to go get that, then it means I'm not doing what I need to do, and I'm not, it's convicting to them when I say that. Because it puts a mirror in front of them and says, you ought to go win. And then they go, well, I'm not winning, and I feel bad about me for not winning, and nobody gave me a participation trophy this week, and so I've actually got to get up, and you mean I've got to go do something different than I'm doing now? And they become convicted, and then they become very angry. But it was a house of cards. I had so much debt, and I wasn't behind with anyone. I wasn't late on the payments, but the bank got sold to another bank. They called our notes because I was an idiot that signed up and gave them the ability. I had a lot of short-term notes because I was flipping houses before there was cable TV to tell you how. I built a house of cards because I was in a hurry to get rich, and then I was just appalled and shocked that the house of cards fell. Well, guess what houses of cards do? They fall. All the time. There's no such thing as a well-constructed house of cards. The point is, it's fragile, it's volatile, it falls in. He who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. You're trying to get rich quick, you're trying to play the lotto, you get punished because you throw your money down the toilet. You go in there and buy a lotto ticket, you get nothing. You got nothing. Nothing. Think about every action that someone takes to become wealthy easily and quickly usually results in punishment. This is dead on. These scriptures are straight up truth. And John Tyler said it this way: wealth can only be accumulated by the earnings of industry and the savings of frugality. Well, wealth that lasts, that's all it is. But you can get wealth other ways. You can get wealth by sudden fame. You can get wealth by sudden, you can hit the lottery, 1 in a bazillion people do. But the rest of everybody else is trying to win the wealth that way, gets punished by losing their money. You need to decide that my life is not good enough the way it is, and so I am going to control the controllables. I am going to change some things. Because guess what? Nobody in Washington is going to fix your life. Santa Claus doesn't live there, baby. Have you noticed that the Democrats and the Republicans, neither one could freaking add? Have you ever had any of them send you money? No. They are not going to fix your freaking life. You are going to fix your life. You're going to get on a plan. You're going to get out of debt. You're going to live on less than you make. And then you're going to save some money. You know how rich people get rich? They save money. They're just folk. They just decide to live different than normal people who spend everything they make and act like they're in Congress. They made a decision to live differently. Now, you can choose a victim mentality due to your liberal politics, due to your shame about your position. You can choose a victim mentality, but I can 100% guarantee that you will not win choosing that mentality. I want you to choose the hero. I want you to choose, in spite of the obstacles, in spite of the people that put you down, in spite of the people that tell you it can't be done, in spite of your 6th grade teacher or your mean mother-in-law, in spite of whoever it is, go do it anyway. Go win anyway.